Hi there, internet associate. It's Anthony, and I'm about to watch another episode of The Walking Dead. So this is season 2, episode 9, Triggerfinger. And I guess at this point, Rick, Glenn, and Herschel are going to be heading back to the farm now, since they convinced Herschel to come back, I believe. So I'm interested in seeing how long Herschel and, this farm and that whole cast of characters is going to be in play here, because I have a feeling, they're not going to be around forever. And I never expected them to. So I'm interested in seeing how much longer they're going to be around now, since I thought that was about to be the final straw when they killed all those walkers. But it seems they still have a bit of a connection there, so can't wait to see what's going to happen there. We're not looking for Sophia anymore, so I guess we got to figure out, and we know that Fort Benning isn't around anymore. So it's like what are we trying to do now? I guess that's kind of going to be what we're going to be doing this episode, figuring out, okay, what's next now that some of these objectives they've had in mind aren't necessarily really a thing anymore. It's time to see what's coming next. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is The Walking Dead season 2 episode 9, Triggerfinger. Who's that? Looks like they're still alive. I see their eyelids moving. Yeah. Wait, who was that? Were we supposed to know who that was? Because I'm not sure I recognized who that was. Yeah, so this is right where we left off with them. Gotta take what you can get from them. They don't need it anymore. Dang, just when they thought they were home free. Well, not home free, but in the clear at least. Yeah, so these guys weren't lying about having other people. Whoa. Oh, that's Lori. I don't know why I didn't recognize her. I remember now, her car got flipped over. I don't know why I didn't recognize her in that first scene. I just could not tell who that was. She did not look the same to me. Like, I swear in that opening scene, it didn't even look like she had dark hair. It looked like she had, like, blonde hair or something. Jeez. Oh, got him. Dang, that was wild. Yeah, I forgot about Lori's crash. Uh-oh. Who's that? Get him. I was about to say, is Lori just about to die? Like, they're like, she's pregnant. I guess she's just gonna die now? I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Lori died. Because it would be tough for me raising a child in this world, so I would not be surprised if Lori ended up dying before the child was able to get born. And this show has already shown us, seems like anybody can go.
Yo, man, he's the toughest son of a...
No cussing in the house.
She cut that out quick. He didn't even get to say it. Want to see
Where
something
is it?
cool? Oh, snap.
I cleared those buildings. You guys get this one? No?
Uh-oh.
We're looking for Dave and Tony. No one checks the damn bar?
Looking for Dave and Tony. Nobody checks the bar. Okay, well, now they know you're there.
I'm gonna push that shot. There's someone in there. If you could help us not get killed, I'd appreciate it.
Dang, this is an awkward situation. It's like, because they don't want trouble either, but it's like, once they open the door and see...
They drew on us!
That was a cool shot.
Dumb bitch must have gone off looking for him.
What?
That was mean.
Yeah, she asked me to go.
Look, just should take a gun.
I don't know. I wouldn't let her go out there alone.
Is it going to be Shane to the rescue again? Uh-oh. He almost blasted him.
Sorry.
He must have hit Glenn. He's behind the dumpster. Doesn't look like he's moving.
I have often heard all these things about Glenn, but I don't think it would happen this soon. I think it happens later in the show, because I remember it being more recent when I was hearing everybody saying, "Oh no, Glenn! No, why Glenn?"
Let's get out of here! Rover's all over the place. Hurry up. We gotta get out of here.
Hurry up! Jump already!
He said, "Oh,
Dude didn't make it.
dang, cold-blooded." They just left him. Everybody got different names. They call them roamers. There's lame brains. There's walkers. They got him.
We have to go now.
Oh,
I'm sorry, son. We have to go.
Dude, don't cut my leg off, please. Please, not.
This cut through.
what the heck you think else can happen? I mean, I appreciate that Rick is always trying to help people, you know? Even the people that was just trying to kill him. He cares more about this guy than the guy's actual people.
Don't cut my leg off, please.
That's what has to happen. Oh, Rick was just like, yeah, we don't got time. Boom. That's what had to happen. I mean, this guy was in a situation where nothing good could happen. He's like, don't leave me, but don't cut my leg off.
They're all back. They're all safe and sound.
Shane's just lying. She's gonna be so mad when she gets back and Rick isn't there.
Place. If you spent half your time minding your daughter's business instead of sticking your nose in everybody else's, she'd still be alive.
What? Why would you say that?
You're a real piece of work, lady.
She's
What are you gonna make this about my daddy or some crap like that?
like, just let it all out.
Hey, you little jack.
It's flowing out. This is healthy.
You're afraid. All you gotta do is keep an eye on her.
I feel like they're about to just start making out or something. Like, all you gotta do is keep an eye on her. You got no husband. Like, what? Why? Why are you doing this? Daryl is clearly very, hurt by the fact that Sophia, all his looking for Sophia ended up being for nothing.
Look, first things first. I gotta look after you. I gotta make sure the baby's all right. Okay?
Why would you say that in front of everybody?
Questions, huh? We never had the talk.
Don't look at me. That's your father's job.
He said, "Don't look at me."
If the baby's a girl, can we name her Sophia?
Abby, just hear me out, please. It's okay.
Shane, if you're just go and look for Rick. If that's what you did this for,
Thanks, bud.
like, leave.
Sound my husband is dead in some hospital.
Oh, when are you gonna stop throwing that in my face, huh? I thought that he was.
She thinks he was lying about that too. I don't blame her for thinking that at this point.
I love you, and I love Carl. That's what.
I told Rick.
Yeah, that's right, Shane. Rick knows about everything you did.
You told.
About y'all two. About the whole little entanglement.
Me and Carl, and it was real. He was right. Don't say it wasn't.
It wasn't.
I appreciate that the characters on this show like actually look like people that, for the most part at least, they look like people that are actually like kind of living in an apocalypse now. Like they got like dirt under their nails and stuff, and like just overall grimy appearances. Like I hate looking at TV shows where the characters are supposed to be going through like, a crazy traumatic things and stuff, but yet they're still completely perfectly well groomed and look like they have on some makeup and like everything looks fine, even if they're like covered in blood, yet somehow they've got immaculate hair and everything. I'm like, man, this is kind of unrealistic. So I appreciate that this show doesn't try to glamorize all the actors and actresses and still make them look, super pretty and handsome in the midst of all this stuff like I've seen some shows do.
I'll set up an IV. Best I can do without Herschel.
What is that? Like a catatonic state or something?
She didn't even know it was on the pill. She's so freaked out by the idea of me and boys and sex, she runs outside, chucks them in the duck pond.
It's like, why do people do that? Like, now you're increasing the chances that she might actually end up getting pregnant or something. Like, that's such an ineffective way of approaching that situation, man. I mean, I get it. I'm not trying to say they're stupid for not knowing that. It just, I understand how people have that mindset. It's just, yeah.
With Shane at the helm, I wouldn't be too sure. He's lost.
Shane Helms.
Shane has done more to keep this group alive than anybody, including Rick.
You can't possibly believe that.
See, here it is again with that kind of like that Rick versus Shane separating within the group of like, who's been the better leader or da 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 da. I don't know. At this point, it doesn't even feel. It feels like both Rick and Shane have definitely been pulling their weight in that department. If we're talking about, I guess, the life-saving department, I just feel like Shane has also been really pulling his weight in the messing things up department. Look who it is. They're gonna be like, "Who's this other guy you got with you?" With a hole in his leg. They're like, "Why do y'all always come back with like some type of extra problem? Y'all always got another inconvenience on hand."
Are you crazy? You could have
Who the
been...
hell is that?
That's Randall.
Randall. They're like, Randall.
Fantasy land. You know, we haven't even dealt with what you did at my barn yet. Let me make this perfectly clear once and for all. This is my farm.
Know your role and shut your mouth. I don't know. It just feels like in this world, I mean, I understand where Shane would be coming from, or where people that have the same thought process as Shane would come from, and that, like, it's not smart to be sitting around trying to help other people or save other people. It's like survival of the fittest. It's like you got to do what you have to do to survive yourself and to keep your best self-interest at heart, and maybe just the people directly around you. And anything outside of that, don't pay attention to it. It doesn't matter. But I feel like in that type of world, people caring about each other and being willing to kind of go the extra mile to help each other overall is just going to overall help everybody. Obviously, that's a pipe dream. That's not going to be the case. But I mean, imagine if everybody was like Rick and everybody was like, you know, we're not going to leave, even if we don't know this person, we've never seen them before, and they were just shooting at us, we're not going to just leave them behind to die. Like, imagine if everybody was just really like, you know, that benevolent. And like, I mean, like, that would help your chances of surviving, because sometimes when you're down and out and there's nothing you have the strength to do left to be able to do, there's no way you can help yourself. You have to rely on other people to help you. And, you know, I mean, like, at the end of the day, we're all humans against these walkers or whatnot. Why not band together instead of making factions and seeing each other as the enemy? Like, it just seems kind of weird. It seems like, yeah, self-preservation seems like on the surface the smartest thing. But to me, it really seems like it's much smarter to really just care about each other. Because if everybody cared about each other, you can kind of rely on that. But of course, that's not ever going to be the case. So caring about other people is only going to kind of inconvenience you, and probably won't reap any benefits from it. But hey, at least it still feels like the right thing to do. So.
No, you don't get it. Rick, your dad, they were counting on me, and I only thought of myself.
Dang, it's like Glenn of all people though, really, this whole series, like, he's always, like I said, he's always been the guy. He's always been the guy that was out doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's risked his life a lot of times so far. So I'm not even mad at him if one time he acted more out of self-interest, honestly.
That was the least of my worries.
You left and I didn't know what to do.
Abandoning the search for Sophia, taking out the walkers in the barn, lying to Lori today. Those were all the right calls. It's your presentation that leaves something to be desired.
Yes, Sandy?
Everyone
I mean, she's definitely right that Shane's presentation leaves something to be desired. Like, it's like, I don't know if I agree that all those were the right call, but I definitely think, like, if he had presented it in a different way and maybe offered some slightly different alternatives that were somewhat of a compromise between the two, something could have been worked out a little bit better.
We're gonna sit here and wait for it. But you and me, we're the only ones to see it come.
Well, then why don't you just leave? It's funny because both of these are two characters I've kind of not cared for. And like, they just got this unholy alliance. Like, y'all can both just go, honestly. Like, especially since Andrea has shot Daryl. I've just been like, I don't even really like Andrea very much.
I killed 2 people myself because of you. And Carl. And the baby. It was gonna be me and not them, no matter what.
You killed the living to protect what's yours? Shane thinks I'm his.
Is she telling him to kill Shane?
He's dangerous, Rick, and he won't stop.
Is she telling him to kill Shane, basically? Is that what she's doing here? Like, I mean, I don't know about all that, but yeah, it's gonna be a constant thing right now, I guess, of just like, I mean, Shane just doing kind of annoying stuff that I'm just kind of like, and I really kind of don't like this guy. So I mean, I guess that's no need, getting super into that anymore right now. I mean, like that's just, I guess it just is what it is for now. So I do think a central theme this episode was that idea of what lengths will you go to protect your fellow man or woman, and at what point is it necessary, or when should you really just be focused on your own self-preservation, especially in a world like this. Like, of course, when that guy jumps off the building and everybody just kind of leaves him from his own team, and then Rick goes to help him, like, I feel like as an audience we're all watching that and we're like, yeah, that's awesome, yeah, right, Rick is such a great guy. But then at the same time you can't help but think, but like in that situation, like, would I really stop and do that? Like, yeah, I guess that seems like the right thing to do, but is it really the logical thing to do, the reasonable thing to do, the realistic thing, the feasible thing? Like, if all these zombies, walkers in this case, are coming at you, and this guy that you don't know just jumped down and is screaming in pain, like, it's like, in what world does it make any type of sense to stop and help him and whatnot? And it's just one of those weird things where it's like, it doesn't really make sense. But it's like, at the same time, he is just another human being. And it's like, I feel like people like Rick, it's like there is kind of this, you feel this maybe innate responsibility to help other people. Maybe that's why Rick got into like law enforcement or something, and because he felt like it was an avenue that he could use to save people's lives and stuff. So it feels like it definitely says a lot about Rick that we've already known. But it's like, I feel like this was one of the most extreme instances of, wow, Rick is really doing this. Like, he really cares about other people. He really cares about this guy. Because I feel like nobody watching this can just look at that and completely think, yes, definitely, yes, you need to do that. I'm there. I mean, at least for me, definitely, it was definitely just feeling like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. But I mean, man, this is actually kind of dumb. Like, it's a TV show, so they might probably get away with it. But like, is this really in any way smart? But I respect it. I really do. And I think, then Glenn looks at something like that and he's like, wow, look at Rick. Like, he's saving them. He's saving us. He's like, and then Herschel saved me, but what am I doing? So Glenn felt, kind of the guilt of not having done something like that. So it was like the other side of the coin that was bothering Glenn. And like I said, I don't think Glenn should feel too guilty about that. I mean, he had his reason for doing it, like, and it was, he said he thought about Maggie and how she said that she loved him and whatnot. I understand it. Like, I get Glenn for doing that, and he's risked his life so many times before. This was just one time, one instance where maybe for that split second he wasn't thinking about doing it like that. But I feel like if it really came down to it, even Glenn would have done something in that moment to try to help, like if Rick or Herschel had gotten hurt. So I think Glenn is going a little hard on himself, and I don't, like I always say, I think these characters, a lot of times they need to just go with their guts. So I don't think Glenn, I understand him feeling, pretty down about it and going hard on himself for this, but I think he should be all right. I think, just the fact that he feels so bad about that is a good sign. Then even Daryl this episode, like, I mean, like, he went to really far lengths to try to protect Sophia. Well, not even protect her, but to find her and whatnot and to help. And then that ended up being for naught. And so he's kind of like, what's the point at this point? I just spent all this time and energy trying to help someone else, like trying to help Sophia, trying to, help Carol and whatnot. It's like, for what? What benefit did it gain me at all? Even if I had found her, what would the benefit have been? And it's like, now I didn't find her. And it's really like, what was the point? That's kind of how Daryl's feeling right now. And so he's definitely probably questioning how much sense it even makes to care about, finding and helping somebody else at this point in the world when the chances are so low of finding them. And then Shane, they brought into question even more now. Yeah, Shane has been this really, super helpful guy. He's been saving people and whatnot. Obviously, his actions have been questionable, but he has been saving people at the end of the day. And that's something that's, commendable and, I can definitely appreciate. But they brought up the fact that, sometimes what are his motives? Like, he saved Carl because he felt like that would help him get closer to Lori and everything. And he kind of has this twisted, delusional reality in his mind where like Lori and Carl are his and Rick is just like somebody that's in the way for some reason. So it's like a lot of what Shane has been doing, even though, and I think I said this a few episodes ago too, like how even though Shane, yeah, technically he's under this guise of being logical, and yeah, for the most part he is being logical, still a lot of what he's doing is actually really based in emotion and is really based in like, all the stuff that he's projecting onto the world. And it's, like it's like, yeah, you're saving people and that's great, but at the same time the intent or the reasoning behind his actions can be very questionable. It's kind of like, is it worse to do the right thing for the wrong reason or the wrong thing for the right reason? Like Shane's been doing a lot of both of those things, I think, this series so far. That's what makes him such a conflicting character. But yeah, so that's really just the main thing that I got from this episode. Like, how far do you go to help other people? How far should you go to help other people? Is it worth it? Like, is it the right thing to do? Should you be focused on yourself and on just the people that, that you love and making sure that that you can be there for them? Because that's definitely an important thing too. We talked about that last episode with Herschel leaving his people. So it's a lot of layers to this stuff, and there's no easy answer. It's always going to be a different answer, and I think this episode gave a lot of examples of that. But overall, very entertaining. Great episode to push things forward with. I'm looking forward to seeing seeing more of what's going to happen with like Daryl, like if he's going to, I'm hoping this doesn't lead to Daryl just becoming more of permanently like how he is now. I want to get Daryl back to how he had been before. I want to see where this is going to lead, with Randall and everything. I hope that that's not going to end up being a bad decision, them taking him with them, because it feels like the right thing to do, So hopefully Shane doesn't get proved right in that instance. And yeah, and now the very end of the episode was super tense. That look that Rick got in his eyes, like he was like, but Lori said you killed the living to protect your own. And I talked about last episode, wasn't that the first time Rick had killed a living person in, this apocalypse time or whatnot? I think it was. So that kind of points it out right there. And Lori's like, you killed the living to protect your own. Well, Shane thinks that we're his, but we're not. We're yours. So what are you going to do about it? So that's kind of how I read that. I don't know if that's what was going on, but I was like, is Lori saying that Rick needs to kill Shane? Something needs to happen to Shane. That's for sure. I mean, I don't think Rick needs to kill him, because I don't think, Rick, has the right to decide that Shane lives or dies. But something needs to happen to Shane. I kind of just wish he would leave, honestly. But then it's like, if he left, yes, I know, then probably a lot more people would die, because he has helped in a lot of ways. So it's conflicting. I guess that'll be it for now. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought about this episode. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can head on over to Patreon to get the full uncut reactions to The Walking Dead, weeks or probably even months ahead of the YouTube schedule. That'll be it.